You are welcome back to my channel, Dr. Koya Ebasi. Today we are going to look at Nigeria financial struggles. The need to break free from one source of income. Nigerian financial struggles. Now, if we look at the laws of prosperity and how people prosper and become wealthy, we will discover that there is no one single man that is called wealthy that depends on only one source of income. Many of the wealthy people in the world are people who have several streams of income. And every one single person that has only one source of income tends to struggle. Take for example, the worker in an office that depends only on his salary. No matter how highly paid that person is, he will definitely struggle, because all his life, all his needs and wants depends on that salary. That is why a lot of civil servants are struggling. A lot of people who go home with paychecks are struggling in life. The reason being that they depend only on one source of income. And this is also applicable to nations. Any nation that depends on only one source of income will struggle. Because like Nigeria, for example, our total dependence on oil is the cause of our problem. Our population is growing. Presently, we are over 200 million people. The roads are bad. The hospitals are in poor conditions. Our educational institutions are not properly funded. A lot of demand for resources. And we continue to depend on oil. 20 years ago, the money was enough for everybody because the population was small. The needs and the demands on the finances were also small. Now the population is growing. The educational institutions, we need expansion. We need more schools. We need more hospitals. We need drugs. We need equipment. As the population is growing, that is how the demand is increasing. And we continue to depend only on oil. As long as we continue to depend on only oil and oil revenues, Nigeria will continue to struggle financially. And that is why there is the need for this nation to begin to look at other alternatives, alternative sources of income. Because presently now is the oil resources that we are using. And now the Tinubu government came and then has introduced a lot of taxes. Taxing here and there so that they can generate income. Now, the two sources of income we have now is the oil and the taxes. And these taxes are crippling businesses because a lot of businesses are just managing to survive. Some are closing because of these taxations. And the possession power of the average Nigerian person is low. So most of these businesses, there is no patronage because people don't have the capacity to buy. And that is why the nation really, our leaders really need to look at other sources of income to complement both the taxes and the oil revenues. Because if there are other alternative sources of income, maybe the taxes would have even reduced. And it will support the income that is coming from the oil to enable us tackle our basic problems. But now the nation, our leaders are not looking in that direction. All they are after is to continue to look at how to increase taxes and then depend only on oil. And as long as we depend only on oil income and now taxes, we will continue to struggle. The only way to come out of this financial struggle is for us to diversify the economy. Let's look at agriculture. Let's look at manufacturing. These are areas, especially the agricultural sector, these are areas that if the Nigerian potential in agriculture is properly tapped, it will generate more money than the oil. And imagine a situation where we have another source of income that is generating money more than the oil, plus the taxes. You can imagine that we will have enough money to take care of a lot of things. But because the government is not looking at all this direction, we will continue to depend on oil income and now taxes, which is making life unbearable for the ordinary Nigerians. As long as we continue to depend on only these sources of income, we will struggle financially. We may not have the resources that are needed to meet up all the financial needs that this nation needs. And therefore, it is good for us to look at how to diversify this economy. Look at how the agricultural sector can be developed. This is not rocket science. This is what was happening before the discovery of oil. If you look at other nations like the United States of America, most of these developed nations found out that their agricultural sectors are well developed and they are supporting their economies. Those things, this sector, when properly developed, makes a nation stable. One, if you are not importing food, you are in a more stable position. Now, if you are exporting food or agricultural products, you earn more money. If only Nigeria would be able to be food sufficient alone, like in areas of rice, oil, most of these things we are importing, most of these food items that we are importing, if Nigeria will be self-sufficient in these areas alone, it will help improve our economies. Most of the monies, foreign exchange that we are spending to import food can now be diverted to other sectors of the economy like education and health. And that is why there is the need for us to really use the little resources we have and focus on how the agricultural sector can be developed so that it will add value to whatever we are doing, so that we can earn more money to support the monies that we are getting from oil. Other areas that we really also need to look at it is the area of the mineral resources. We have a lot of mineral resources in this nation that people are just illegally mining and tapping and selling for themselves. If Nigeria will look at this direction and make it a policy, a national policy in such a way that these minerals can also be exploited to generate income to the federal government, we will have enough money to meet up our basic needs. But now these things, these natural resources are just left in the hands of bandits and illegal miners to mine and sell and make money for themselves. The government is not looking in this direction at all. So there is need for the government to look at other alternative sources of income so that money can be generated from these sources to support the money that is coming from oil, so that we will be able to meet up the needs, the demands, the financial demands that the nation is presently facing. A lot of things to do with money, and the sources of income are few, just one or two sources of income. And because of that mentality, now everybody, the little one that is available, everybody wants to loot them. Corruption everywhere. Corruption is a product of lack of a mindset of lack and want. So we really need to look at all these other areas if we don't want to struggle financially. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel, share these videos, and make your comments. Thank you.